Welcome back, everybody, to the Even Your Dynasty show.
We just got breaking news in.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Even Your Dynasty show. We're back with our July 22nd minor league update. This is going to be for the games that were played between July 18th and July 20th. There were obviously only 3 games played last week due to the All-Star break, so a little bit of a short week, so a little less action than normal. The lists are going to be a little bit shorter, so this will probably be a bit of a quicker video than our normal minor league update, but we'll still try and go over some good things. We did obviously have some movement we touched on last week. Guys like Scott Bandura, Bo Davidson, Jacob Christian, all receiving promotions. We also had some movement on the Baseball America's top 30 prospects list. So you're going to hear guys in a little bit of a different order. We'll go over their new rankings. There were 4 players from the Giants draft class added to the list. 4 players were removed, obviously, from the top 30. The 4 that were added, Gavin Keelan came in at number 6. Lorenzo Miola, number 25. Reed Worley at number 26. And Cam Maldonado at number 27. Falling off the top 30, Josh Bostic, Rainer Arias, Sabine Ceballos, and Oliver Tejada. We're still going to cover those 4 players, but they won't be ranked players as we run through this list. So we'll jump right into Sacramento. Now, fair warning, in Sacramento, there was not a lot of action this week. So if you want to see the highlights, you want to see all the good stuff, you might want to skim that little chapter over to Richmond, where the action really seemed to pick up this week. But Sacramento, they did go 0-3 versus the Dodgers affiliate OKC. 47-49 now on the season. Number 1 prospect Bryce Eldridge did return. He went 1 for 9 with a walk and 4 strikeouts. First week back from injury, anytime guys miss an extended period of time, there's a little bit of an adjustment period. He had just started to heat up in AAA before the injury. Let's see if he can get going again here in a week or so. Number 3 prospect Carson Whisenhunt. He went 3 2/3 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 68 pitches, 44 for strikes. He was very sharp, though the velocity did dip as the game, went on. They only had him throw 68 pitches. Now, it's not, he was throwing the ball well, gave up a little bit of loud contact, but he recorded 2 straight outs, and then they pulled him out of the game. So I'm thinking it's a bit of load management going on. He's already at 97 innings on the season, or 97 2/3 innings. His career high is 109, which he threw last season. So I can't imagine they're going to let him stretch this out too far. But just something to keep an eye on. Now, the velocity, as I just mentioned, it has dipped a bit. He's down about 90, 91. We're going to want to keep an eye on that. He normally is up around 92 to 94. So we'll see if that continues. If that trend does continue, that could be potentially problematic as far as what they might be able to get out of him potentially at the major league level this season. But time will tell there. Number 11 prospect Marco Luciano, 1 for 6, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. Number 13 prospect Grant McCray went 1 for 12 with a walk and 7 strikeouts. Strikeouts obviously were a bit of an issue this week. Number 14 prospect Mason Black, 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 3 hits, a walk, 4 strikeouts, 60 pitches, 38 of them for strikes. Number 15 prospect Trevor McDonald, he went 2 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 60 pitches, 37 for strikes. Really just struggled to he struggled to stay in the zone, struggled to get ahead of hitters, got knocked around a bunch, struggled to put guys away. It was a really rough outing out of Trevor McDonald. And that makes like 3 in a row for him. ERA obviously is not what you want to see out of him. It's been a really tough year overall. I still think he'd be a really good reliever. His fastball slider combination especially could be really nasty, but they continue to try and develop him as a starter. Number 19 prospect Trent Harris. He threw 1 game, 1 1/3 innings pitched, no earned runs, 1 hit, no walks, and a strikeout. Looked much sharper. His last 2 appearances, the Futures game, as well as his appearance on Sunday, he's been very sharp. Carson Ragsdale, the number 20 prospect, 3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 52 pitches, 30 for strikes. He had been on a nice little roll for about the last month or 2 months. Obviously, that was a rough outing for him. Let's see if he can bounce back. Number 22 prospect, Wade Meckler, 2 for 7, a walk, 3 strikeouts. Tyler Fitzgerald, he went over 12, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Gerard Encarnacion went 2 for 9 with 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. And then a guy that's really made a name from this season, a very solid acquisition in the Taylor Rogers trade, was Braxton Roxby. He went 1 inning, no earned runs, no hits, a walk, 3 strikeouts, faced 3 guys, struck out 3 guys. His slider is pretty nasty. It's got some nice, especially horizontal movement to it. Kind of a little bit of that frisbee action you used to see with like Sergio Romo. Doesn't throw it the hardest, but he is pretty nasty. That slider is definitely his calling card. That's his swing and miss pitch. Moving over to Double A Richmond, they went 2-1 versus Harrisburg. They are now 34-54 on the season. They've actually won 11 of their last 14 games. I was calling this team the Rockies of the minor leagues, and they've really turned around their year in the last, couple weeks to 2.5, 3 weeks, playing a lot better ball. Now, are they going to be a playoff team in Double A or any good? Probably not, but it's good to see them at least playing solid baseball again. And they just had a nice infusion of talent. The offense actually scored some runs this weekend. They looked just like a much more watchable product, which is nice because they are the team that usually plays earliest. They're usually the standalone game, and it's nice when they're a much more fun watch. But starting off with number 4 prospect Bo Davidson, he went 3 for 12, a home run, 4 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He's hitting 250. He kind of got robbed. It's a small sample size. It's at the end of the year. It's not going to be a big deal, but he kind of got robbed of a hit because O'Neill Perez missed second base going first to third on a ball. So it really could have been a 4 for 12, which either way, it was a really good week for him. Good first weekend in Richmond. Hopefully he can just keep it up and hit there because that's a really tough environment to hit in. And if you perform in Double A, that's going to do tons, not only for your stock as a when it comes to top 100 lists or anything like that, but as far as just kind of how you're going to feel about the guy as a prospect moving on through the system. Number 8 prospect Diego Velasquez, he went 2 for 9, a walk, 3 strikeouts. Number 28 prospect Jack Choate, he went 4 innings, no earned runs, 1 hit, no walks, 5 strikeouts through 54 pitches, 37 for strikes. I think that makes about 3 or 4 outings in a row that he's actually looked very sharp. It's been really good. Command's been much improved the last month ish. But it's pretty interesting watching him pitch. He doesn't do anything that really like overpowers anyone. We've seen his fastball get up to about 94, but really it lives at about 90 miles per hour. And he gets a really good extension, kind of sort of low 3/4 release, a little bit cross delivery, pretty deceptive. I feel the off, his breaking ball, a little Bumgarner light type motion. His breaking ball definitely, gets a lot. That's the big pitch for him, getting a lot of whiffs. But it's actually impressive how he gets as many strikeouts as he does, and he's throwing 90 miles per hour. So, interesting arm. It's definitely someone to keep an eye on, and he's been throwing it well lately. Scott Bandura, he made his debut in Double A along with Bo Davidson. He also went 5 for 10, a home run, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Very impressive week for him. Was hitting the ball hard, line drives all fields, and turned on one. I felt like a lot of the power you saw out of him in high A came to kind of center field, right center, and it was nice to see him really spin on one to straightaway right field, almost down the line. Adrian Sagasti, he went 2 for 6, a triple and a walk. Sabine Ceballos, he went 2 for 6, a double and 2 walks. And then O'Neill Perez, 1 for 3. Just played in 1 game this weekend. Moving over to High A Eugene, they went 2-1 versus Tri-Cities. They are now 50-39 on the season. I mentioned Josh Bostic. He fell off the top 30 list, but starting it off with him, he went 5 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts through 63 pitches, 44 of them for strikes. Charlie Zucconi, he continues to be absolutely red hot. He went 5 for 11 with 4 doubles, a walk, 2 strikeouts. His average is up over 265 now on the year. He's got like an 820 OPS. I'd imagine we're going to see him get a promotion before the year ends. I do believe he did struggle in high A for quite a while. So I do believe they're going to try and see him do this for a little longer. He's really dominated, though, for about the last month and a half or so, almost two. We're nearing like 2 months of this performance. Jacob Christian, he made his high A debut. He went 2 for 13, 2 doubles, 6 strikeouts. Obviously the strikeouts stand out a bit. He was getting a lot of sliders, both in the zone and down and away. He's going to have to show the ability to both hit those as well as lay off the ones that, aren't strikes. It was kind of his welcome to another level. You just got to a level where guys are going to throw more off speed, throw it for strikes more, control it better on the whole. So it's going to take an adjustment, but he did hit a couple balls hard. He also got robbed of a couple hits that he hit really hard. Third baseman made a really heck of a kind of diving play on one. So we'll see. It's first week. Obviously, it's going to be an adjustment for him. Drew Kavanaugh, he went 3 for 8, a double, 3 strikeouts. He continues to hit really well in high A. I don't think they're going to promote him a second time this season up to double A. But that said, he has been pretty dominant at every level so far, and look forward to kind of seeing him go through the system. He's the catcher I definitely have the most kind of the most hope for as far as like with starter potential down the road. Jonah Cox, he went 4 for 14, 2 doubles, 4 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He's a guy that probably, we would love to see get up to Richmond this season, especially if they're going to start promoting some of the other guys in San Jose when they get healthy, like Dakota Jordan, Carlos Gutierrez, and in those mold. You're going to probably want to move Cox up because you're going to need to create some playing time in Eugene for those others. Quinn McDaniel, he went 2 for 6, a double, and 3 strikeouts. And then Shane Rademacher, he's been one of the most consistent pitchers at any level this season. 5 2/3, no earned, 3 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Through 65 pitches, 46 of them for strikes. He's been probably the most efficient pitcher at the bare minimum at any level. Consistently beats the 15 pitches per innings that you're hoping for. Doesn't strike out a ton of guys. He's definitely a pitch to contact type guy, but he knows how to get guys off balance. He knows how to get guys out. And that's just an underrated skill because at the end of the day, that's the job is get outs. So, and eat up innings and get outs. And he does a good job. He probably as good a job as any player in the Giants system right now at that. And then going to San Jose, they went 1-2 versus Modesto, 58 32 on the season. Definitely a little bit of a dip in talent than we've seen in San Jose throughout the whole year, with Dakota Jordan being hurt, with Carlos Gutierrez being hurt, with Jacob Christian getting the promotion up to Eugene. This is still a very talented roster, but they definitely took a little bit of a hit in talent compared to what we've been used to watching for the entirety of the season. But number 29 prospect, Jeremy Maldonado, he had one of his best outings of the year. 3 innings pitched, no earned, 1 hit, no walks, 6 strikeouts, only threw 43 pitches, 31 of them for strikes. Maui Ahuna, he went 4 for 12, a triple, 3 doubles, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He's a guy I've kind of mentioned I would like to see get promoted up to Eugene. Hasn't necessarily earned it as far as, you're not as far as just strictly performance. It's not to say he hasn't performed well in A-ball. He's actually been really good in San Jose this year. Last year, a little bit of a struggle for him, but it is a situation where I feel like the team does need to kind of push him up a level. He's played well enough that, I don't feel like you have to hold him back, but I feel like you need to push him up a level because you do have guys like Johnny Level, who the Arizona Complex League is about to come to an end. Their last regular season game is on Thursday, and then they're going to do the playoffs, and then their season's done. And I think San Jose still has about 6.5, 7 weeks left. They also just drafted Gavin Keelan. Those are 2 different guys that are going to play middle infield, and he's already signed. So, you're looking at potentially 2 middle infielders that you're wanting to create playing time for in San Jose. Well, how do you do that? Well, take your shortstop, move him up to Eugene. He's at least playing well enough to go up there. Love to see Maui get an opportunity there. I'm still really impressed with kind of the way he plays the game. Lots of speed, some power. Plays very good defensive shortstop. Might be the best defensive shortstop in the system right now, between him and Averson Arteaga up in Richmond. So that's just one that kind of makes sense. Then Robert Hipwell, he went 1 for 12, a walk, 7 strikeouts. He's been red hot for a couple months. This is probably the worst week he's had since going all the way back to possibly April. Lisbel Diaz, he went 5 for 12, 2 home runs, a double, and a walk. Continues his hot streak. He's actually had kind of a bit of a power surge the last 2 weeks, especially. Walker Martin, 4 for 12, 3 doubles, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a stolen base. Xander Darby went 2 for 10, a double, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. But he's cooled off a little bit recently, but he's still having a really nice year overall. And then Jeremiah Jenkins went 2 for 8, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Moving over to the Complex League in Arizona, they went their number 5 prospect, Johnny Level. We mentioned him. He us on the show. If you watched our top 20 that we created on the live show the other day, I released it as a separate video as well for those of you that didn't see the live show or didn't catch that part of it. He went 6 for 21, a home run, a double, 2 walks, a strikeout, and 3 stolen bases. Filled up the stat sheet. It's kind of what he's done. I mean, there's a reason why scouts around baseball have talked about him as the best prospect in the Complex League. To me, I think he's a top 100 prospect. I'm not sure he'll get that recognition, though, until he does this in San Jose. But I do believe he's going to be on that list in the next year. So, number 10 prospect, Argenis Kayama. He went 4 innings, an earned run, 3 hits, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Really solid stuff. Mid-90s, sinker, slider, changeup. Really good. 18 years old. Hopefully we see him in San Jose as well. If we don't, he's another guy that could rise quickly next season. Number 18 prospect, Keener Martinez. He pitched in 2 games, had probably the best week of anybody. And we had some good offensive weeks, but sorry, my voice. He pitched in 2 games, went 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, no walks, 13 strikeouts. Guy was unhittable in Arizona this week. So good to see out of him. Number 23 prospect, Jose Ortiz, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. It was his first rehab game in almost 3 months, I believe. So he's probably going to have some rust. He'll get a couple games in Arizona, and then they'll probably move him back over to San Jose. And then Rainer Arias, he went 0 for 7 with 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. And then Oliver Tejada continues to be red hot. He also has been playing very good for about 3 or 4 weeks now. 8 for 15, a home run, a triple, 3 walks, a strikeout, and 2 stolen bases. Moving over to the Dominican Summer League, where number 2 prospect Joshua Gonzalez hit his first 2 home runs in his professional career. He went 4 for 19, 2 home runs, a double, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. Another guy that scouts are absolutely raving about. It's good to see the power show up a little bit. You'd love to see him hitting for a little bit of a higher average, but we're going to talk about the next player here. There are some older guys in that level, even though it is kind of compared to high school ball. There are a couple guys like their number 24 prospect, Alberto LaRoche, who's 19 years old. So it's not the easiest league. They do have the fences back a bit. But not an easy league to just show a ton of power in, but he has hit some pretty impressive balls this season. Hit 109 miles per hour into the left center gap from the left side, which was really impressive. So overall, really good season out of him. And then number 24 prospect, Alberto LaRoche, 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 4 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Gene Macaris, he went 1 for 11, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. And then Julian Barreto, 3 for 12, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. So that's all I've got for this week. If you do enjoy the content, as always, please do hit that like, hit the subscribe. Helps for channel growth. We are at about 1,850, I believe, on subscribers now. The goal is to hit 2,000 by the end of the season. Now, hopefully, the Giants can make this interesting all the way down the wire, and we can, keep having good stuff to talk about. But I say this, and they're in the midst of a, 6 game losing streak now. It's not looking great. So we're going to have a live show on Thursday. We're going to talk all things Giants, whether they should buy, whether they should sell, where they stand, because at this, if you're asking the team to send a message to Buster on what they should do, they've pretty well done it in the last couple weeks. So other than that, though, that's all I've got. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want us to talk about this week, but we appreciate you guys, and go Giants.